The cargo bay of the Valiant Dawn hummed with an eerie silence as Commander Zexathur of the Krylaxian Empire stepped through the breached airlock. His forearms spread wide in a gesture of dominance. Behind him, 24 of his finest warriors filed in, their plasma rifles charged and ready. The human vessel had been drifting for 3 cycles. Seemingly abandoned, a perfect prize for the taking, skin complete. Commander chittered his second-in-command, mandibles clicking with satisfaction. 2 life signs detected. Minimal armament. This will be effortless. Zexathur's compound eyes gleamed with predatory anticipation. Humans, the galaxy's newest species, barely a century into space travel. Yet somehow they had carved out 3 systems for themselves through sheer audacity. The Empire had been watching, waiting for the perfect moment to demonstrate why the Krylaxians had ruled this sector. For 10,000 years, they found the humans in the ship's command center. A woman stood near the navigation console, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, wearing a worn leather jacket over her flight suit. Her stance was relaxed, almost casual, as if she'd been expecting them. Beside her, a young man with sandy hair leaned against the weapons terminal. Arms crossed, his expression unreadable. "Nancy Chen," Zexathur announced, his translator rendering his clicking speech into perfect Terran standard. His intelligence reports had been thorough. "Captain of this vessel, and Parker Mitchell, your engineer." How convenient. Nancy's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "Commander Zexathur, I presume? Your reputation precedes you. 17 merchant vessels captured in the past year alone, 18 after today." Zexathur corrected, gesturing with 2 of his arms. "You will surrender your ship and submit to Imperial custody. Resistance is, as your people say, futile." Parker shifted slightly, and instantly 6 rifles trained on him. He froze, raising his eyebrows at Nancy. She gave him an almost imperceptible nod. "Here's the thing, Commander," Nancy said, her voice steady and clear. "You made a mistake coming here." Zexathur's mandibles spread in what his species considered laughter. "You are too. We are 26. Your ship is disabled. What mistake could I possibly have made? You assumed we were defenseless." Nancy's eyes locked onto his primary visual cluster. "Drop your weapons and power down your armor. Last chance." The command center erupted with clicking laughter from the Krylaxian warriors. Zexathur took a step closer, his bulk towering over the human woman. He had faced down warlords, conquered civilizations, and never not once had prey spoken to him this way. "I will give you one opportunity to comply," he said, his voice dropping to a dangerous growl. "Disarm, now." Nancy raised her hands slowly, palms out, in what appeared to be surrender. Parker did the same, though his grin was starting to unnerve the Krylaxian soldiers. "That," Nancy said softly, "was your first mistake." Zexathur's confusion lasted exactly 1.3 seconds. The lights in the command center shifted from white to deep crimson. A sound like a gong being struck resonated through the deck plates, and every Krylaxian felt it in their exoskeletons, a frequency that made their joints lock. Their muscles spasm. "You see, Commander," Nancy continued, her hands still raised but now clearly not in surrender. "Humans learned something important early in our spacefaring days. We're not the strongest species, not the fastest, not the most advanced." Her fingers flexed, and the crimson light intensified. "But we are creative," Parker chimed in, his voice carrying over the groans of the paralyzed Krylaxians. "Nancy here. She's got a doctorate in xenobiology, specifically in Krylaxian anatomy. Wrote her thesis on the resonant frequencies of chitinous exoskeletons. The human hand." Nancy explained, lowering her arms and walking calmly towards Zexathur, who stood frozen, his forearms locked in place. "Has 27 bones, 29 joints, and can make approximately 1,000 different gestures. When we installed the gesture recognition defense system on this ship, we made sure it could distinguish between genuine surrender and..." She made a complex series of movements with her fingers. Activation protocols. The deck plating beneath the Krylaxians began to glow. Magnetic fields, perfectly calibrated to Krylaxian armor frequencies, locked every warrior in place. "Your first mistake," Nancy said, circling the immobilized commander, "was assuming a disabled ship was helpless. Your second was not scanning for passive defense systems. Your third was threatening us instead of negotiating. She stopped in front of him, her expression hardening. But your biggest mistake, thinking that because we're new to the galactic stage, we don't know how to defend ourselves. Parker moved to the weapons console, his fingers dancing across the controls. We've been monitoring Krylaxian tactics for months, Commander. We knew you'd target solo vessels. We knew you'd breach from the cargo bay. We knew you'd try to intimidate rather than destroy. Can't sell a ship that's been blown to pieces. Right. So we set a trap, Nancy concluded. Disabled our own propulsion, sent out a distress beacon on frequencies we knew you'd intercept, and waited. Zexither's vocal apparatus finally unlocked enough for him to speak. You planned this, every second of it. Nancy walked to her command chair and sat down, crossing her legs. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to contact your fleet. You're going to tell them that the Valiant Dawn is under new management. You're going to relay our terms to your Emperor. Humanity's borders are not to be crossed. Our ships are not to be touched. And any act of aggression will be met with responses you can't anticipate. The Empire will never. The Empire, Parker interrupted, pulling up a holographic display, just lost its most decorated commander and his entire squad to 2 humans on a disabled cargo ship. How do you think that's going to look? And wait until they hear about our other 17 surprises waiting throughout the sector. Nancy leaned forward. We don't want war, Commander. We want respect. We want a trade, to explore, to be left in peace. But if your Empire insists on testing us, she smiled, and this time it was genuine, if cold. Well, humans didn't become apex predators on our home world by being weak. We did it by being smarter than everything trying to eat us. The crimson light began to fade, and the Krylaxians felt their mobility slowly returning. But not their weapons. Those remained magnetically sealed to the deck plating. Your shuttle is undamaged, Nancy said. Take your warriors and go. And Commander? She stood, walking to stand directly in front of Zexither. Tell your Emperor that humanity says hello, and that we really, really hope this can be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. But if not, she gestured around at the trapped soldiers. Well, you've seen what just 2 of us can do. As the Krylaxians retreated to their shuttle, mandibles clicking in shock and shame, Parker moved to stand beside Nancy at the viewport. They watched the alien craft detach and accelerate away. Think they'll listen? Parker asked. Nancy shrugged. Maybe, maybe not. But they'll definitely think twice before underestimating a human ship. Again, we're going to need bigger traps. If they come back with a fleet, then we'll build bigger traps. Nancy turned to her engineer, her friend, her partner in this insane gambit. That's what humans do best, Parker. We adapt, we overcome. We surprise everyone who thinks they have us figured out. Parker grinned. Humanity, fuck yeah. Nancy laughed, the tension finally breaking. Humanity, fuck yeah, in the depths of space. The Valiant Dawn powered up its engines and continued its journey. A small human vessel that had just reminded the galaxy of an important lesson. Never assume the prey doesn't have teeth. The end.